All right, lads. I just as a fresh revision, I said I'd do the some of the more recent questions in the Leaving Cert. Sometimes they've thrown in, especially in the 60 mark questions, things that we haven't seen before. So we'll start off with this incomplete record. I think it's from 2018. There's a couple of small little subtle changes that may have, I wouldn't say the Troy or anything, but might have been a little bit tricky. So this is an incomplete type A, so remember we're going to have to work out sales, purchases, bank, and drawings as our four big workings. It's only a 60 marker, but I will do it as a 100 marker, so I'll do the balance sheet as well. So anyway, do what I'd always do, which is start at the top. He purchased a business for 425, so that's what he paid, so that's his capital. So that would be going in my balance sheet. And he bought the business with the following assets and liabilities. So I'm going to work out my goodwill there. So it was 425, and the value of the business is the assets minus the liability, so 300,000 plus 30,000 plus stock 22.6 plus debtors 28.3. They're all assets. Insurance prepaid is an asset, so we'll add that on. Creditors is a liability, so take that away. Wages due is a liability, so take that away as well. So 65,500. Okay, so that's our goodwill, which will go into its normal spot. Okay, so we can move on then to just start throwing in the numbers. I suppose you can enter the bottom and put all these things at the bottom in if you want. So you might do that just because that's the way I would always do it, just to get as many marks as I can. So included in the assets of the business for stock 24.2, so that's our closing stock. 24,200 into there, and also into your trading account. Debtors of 23.4. They're an asset, obviously. The creditors 18.2. Yeah, that's liability. Cash 860 is an asset. And electricity due 1,300. Is a liability. So got through them as normal. And then we can start at the top and work our way to the bottom. So first one we see is premises. So premises starts off as 300,000. Go down to your normal working and see if he buys an adjoining premises. So he borrows 120,000 to purchase an adjoining premises. We can assume that the premises cost 120,000. We can't think anything else. It doesn't tell you otherwise. Normally it says you bought a premises costing, it might say costing 100,000 or whatever, but there's not a lot we can do there. So it's 300,000 plus 120 is 420. Now, I think, well, I know actually. There's depreciation in this one, so we just have to be a little bit careful in it. Sorry. I'll have a look at it later. I'm fairly sure there's depreciation in this. Um, anyway, I'll come back to that later. Okay. So my next step then is to look at my equipment, and equipment is 30,000. Now, equipment is 30,000. Go down, see if he's bought any more equipment. So normally there'd be a payment for equipment in the bank payments here. So you see 30,000, and there's another 12,000. So that brings up to 42,000. Now, is there any receipts? So there's no receipts from selling equipment, so it starts at 42. And if we read on, you can see that there is equipment owned is to be depreciated by 14% of cost, right, per annum. So it doesn't tell us when we bought this 12,000, so I bought this equipment costing 12,000. So we can assume that he had it for a full year. So we're going to find 14% of our equipment, and that'll give us 5880, and that's an expense, okay? So 580. So that's our equipment done. Stock 22.6, that's our opening stock. Purchases, or sorry, debtors is are assigned to these sales. Now this is our first sort of tough working with this. It's probably the trickiest of all the workings really. So we've got debtors become sales, right? So sales is made up of cash and credit sales. I'll do them credit and cash in that sort of manner because the cash one is bigger. So I'm just trying to find something here on my own notes. Which I can't find. Anyway, all right, so our credit sales is made up of debtors. So we start with our payments to debtors, which is 52,000. We're going to take away our debtors at the start of the year of 28.3. And we're going to add on our debtors at the end of the year of 23.4. And that gives you your credit sales. Okay, so 47.1. Your cash sales, right? So your cash sales are made up of all of your cash payments. So all of our cash payments are the 141,000 cash lodgements, the general expenses of 43.2, the purchases of 76,000. So, and you've got you got to look at your cash drawings. So that's really important. So your cash drawings always go in. So it's what is that? 90 per week. So 90 by 52. 4680. So we'll add that in. And then we also always have to add on any cash balance at the end of the year of 860. Now, if there was a cash balance at the start of the year, you would take it away. So just be aware of that. So they're the things we're looking for. Now, just beware. I saw it in. Don't know what question I was doing, but I saw it in one of the other questions. That the drawings from cash, or the drawings per week, was by check. And if that was by check, it would not go in the cash. It would not go in the cash here because it's not a cash payment. So if it said the drawings by check, you would not include that drawings. In this case, the drawings is by cash, so you do. So we'll just do that. So 141 plus 43.2 plus 76 plus 4680 plus 860. And that's 265,740. So we add the two together, and that's our cash sales. That's our sort of tough working done through in 2840. Now, the next one we see after debtors is 3 months insurance prepaid. Now we see this working all of the time, right? So we take our insurance. So our insurance payment is 19,600. And we're going to add that prepaid at the start of the year of 4.8. Remember that 19.6 is for 12 months. This is for 3 months. So if we have 3 months prepaid at the start of the year, we're going to have 3 months prepaid at the end of the year. So it has to be 3 months. So it's 3/12 of 19.6. Which is 4,900. So if we do that sum, then it's 19,000. It is 19,500. Obviously, you just added that on instead of taking it away. So minus 4,900. So it's 19,500. The really important thing here is you put in your insurance. There's no drawings. Just check there's drawings. There's not. You put in your expense 19,500 over here, but that you remember to put in your prepaid. So that's probably the one I'd forget to put in most. So that 4,900. I strongly advise you to put it in as soon as you work it out. Don't wait till the end. Creditors then. Creditors is our key to do your purchases working. Our second big working. So again, we follow the same process. We have credit and cash. There will be drawings on this as well. So the credit purchases, you take your creditors' payments. 47,000. You're going to take away your creditors at the start of the year of 25,400. We're going to add on your creditors at the end of the year, which is 18,200. So we should get an answer for that then of 39,800. Then we have our cash purchases. Our cash purchases is given to us 76,000. So we just add those two together. And you get 115,800. But there's pretty much always drawings of stock. So we're going to take the drawings of stock away, which in this case is 70 a week. So 70 by 52 is 3,640. And if my things stop fucking circling, I'll be able to do it a bit quicker. So take it away from the 115 and we get 112, 160 as our purchases. Okay. So that's all right. That's that done. Wages due 800. Wages due at the start of the year. that's from last year, so it has to get taken away from general expenses. So for the time being, I'll just put it in and hope that there's no other drawings or anything like that on it. And I'll come back to it. I can always correct it. It's the joy of doing it on a computer. For you lads, try and do it on. I would suggest you do it on pencil. So 43.2 minus the 800 is 42.4. Okay, so that's everything at the top. We're into our middle section, our receipts and payments. Okay, this is here where again we check for drawings as you go. Nothing new so far really, but we've got to get to them soon enough. So you got your lodgements 141 and cash lodgements there 141. They're contra entry, so you don't do anything with those. They balance with each other. General expenses we've dealt with, purchases we've dealt with. So next one is light and heat. Well, light and heat we haven't come across at the top. So, but we do know there will be light and heat. There's going to be a working. So we'll do our working. Take our light and heat from the 11.5 there. That's our payment. Down to the bottom and see if there's any due or prepaid. So there's electricity due of 1.3. There's no stock of oil to take away. So just add those on. You get 12,800. Now, is there drawings? There's pretty much always drawings in light and heat. So 20% of it is drawings. So that's 2,560, which you will take away, and you get 10,240 then for your light and heat. Okay, so probably at this stage I'm going to open up that, do my drawings working here because I've already calculated a couple of numbers now. So I've got my light and heat of 2,560. We've got our cash, which was 4,680. And we had our stock, our purchases drawing of 3,640. So I'd have that open so you don't have to do those sums again, just for a shortcut. So 10,240 into your expenses. Annual premises insurance, we've done that. Creditors, we've dealt with. Interest, now I'll always come back to that when I get to my loan, right? I won't forget about that. Rent for 1 year is 24,000. Now this is new, okay? Now you've seen it before. It's not too tricky or anything like that, but so tells us that the rent is 24,000, and down at the bottom it says the figure for rent was for an adjoining business rented by Walsh on the 1st of the 8th, 2017, payable in advance. So he has to pay a year in advance. So he's paying for 12 months from the 1st to the 8th, but of that, only the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, only 5 months of that is for this year. So the rest is rent prepaid. And there's no drawings on it. There could be, but there's not. So if I'm going to put it in as a prepaid. So if it's 2,000 a month, and we know that 5 months are for this year, which means 12 months or 7 months are for next year. So 7/12 of 24,000 is 14,000, and that's rent prepaid, which means you've got rent of 10,000. Now again, remember to put in the rent as an expense, and the prepaid, put that in now as a current asset. That's new, but it's not really new. You've seen it before in other questions, so it's just a matter of taking your learnings from that. You'll be fine. Right, we've done equipment. We've done. So again, there was depreciation on the equipment, which was new. Nothing too difficult there really. Standing order for charitable donation, so that's called a covenant, and we could put that in 2,000. Nothing really drawings and that or anything like that. So Walsh, we've done the drawings. Walsh borrowed 120,000. We put the loan in. No, we haven't. We put it in there. See how it's repaying it in a while. It's agreed that Walsh would pay interest at 6% per annum. So I'll go ahead and do my loan interest. So it's 6% per annum. So 6% of 120,000. He got the loan on the 1st of the 7th, so he has it for 6 months. So that is going to be 3,000. Let me see. It's going to be 3,600, of which I'm going to do just do it now. Loan interest due is the 3,600 minus whatever he's paid. Remember, I said I'd go back to it. So he's paid 1,200. So there's a loan interest due of 2,400, which we know is a liability. Okay, so I'll put that in there. Sorry, 2,400. Okay, so that's that one done. So there'll be drawings of the loan interest as always. So 20%, 25% of the interest payable. So of the expense, a quarter of it, which is 900. So that's 25% of 3,600, which is 900, is drawing. So again, I'm going to, just before I forget, I'm going to put that in there. 900, and then I've got my loan interest as an expense as 2,700. Okay, so we get that in. That should be all right. So 1/4 of the building was used as a private residence. Okay, so now 1/4 of the building was used as a private residence, means 1/4 of that building is drawings. So that's new. We haven't had drawings of buildings before. So 1/4 of the new building, 120,000. So 30,000 of that. I have to change that. So that goes down to 390,000 because drawings of buildings, the new building, 30,000, it has to go in there. Okay, again, we haven't had drawings of buildings, that's new. It's treated the same way as drawings of any other fixed asset. So, not really sure why they put that in this question, to be perfectly honest, because they don't even ask you to do a balance sheet here. So, as it's a 60-mark question, that's just depreciation on it, maybe, but it doesn't seem to make any sense. So, anyway, they're the types of things of saying that they tend to throw in 60-mark questions to flag that they could be coming up as a 100-mark question. So, could suggest that maybe something like that might be coming up in Leaving Cert this year if incomplete records are to be asked. So that's just something to be aware of. Capital sums repaid using the investment fund, which has been set up. The fund has earned interest of 900 to date. Now, doesn't tell us, which is going to be a bit of a killer because we don't know, but doesn't tell us how much is in the investment fund. But we know that it's earned interest of 900, so investment income is 900. It's going to make it really difficult to complete the question correctly, because obviously there would be investments there, but they don't tell us how much is being transferred over, so we can't really work out how much is in the investment unless it tells us later at the bottom. Anyway. Okay, so Walsh estimates at 20% of the light and heat as well as 25% of the interest payable. We've done that. Figure for rent, we've done that. Equipment owned is depreciated, we've done that. And we've put in everything at the bottom. So we've got everything in. Just the last thing we really have to do for us, it's not really that feasible because of the height of the question, but we have to work out the bank balance. So my bank balance, I'm going to put all of my lodgements onto one side here. So I've got my bank lodgements of 52,000 and 141,000. Right, they're my two bank lodgements. I've also lodged the loan of 120,000. Okay, that's my loan. Okay, so they're my three lodgements. Doesn't say we've lodged anything else, so yeah, there's nothing we can really do. We don't know what the rest of the lodgements are. The just check. So I've actually done this question somewhere else. No, I haven't. Sorry. The payments then. All of our bank payments, so we've 11,500, 19,600, 47,000, interest 1,200, rent for 1 year 24,000, equipment 12,000, and the standing orders 2,000. We've also paid 120,000 for a. We paid 120,000 for the building. So this obviously this 120,000 matches this 120,000. So all of our lodgements are one side, all of our payments are the other. If we had an investment fund and we knew what it was, the investments would also come out. We have to be aware of that. If the other one that could be is if the drawings were by check, they would have to come in on the payment side as well. Okay, so just be aware of that. So the things that go in extra apart from here, bank payments and bank lodgements, are the loan on the debit side and then what you use the loan for the credit. Obviously in this case you have a left of 120 and you have a right of 120. If you left that out it would still balance. Again, the extras, if there was check drawings, they would go in on the payment side. I saw that in a question of some sort lately I was doing with fifth years. And the other one was if if there's investments, well, the investments have to come out of the bank account, so they will be on the right hand side. So anyway, to find out how much is in the balance in the bank, add up the left, add up the right. Just do that up here, sorry. So 313 on the left, 237 on the right. To find the balance, take them away from each other, and that's your bank balance of 75,700, which I'll put in. Okay, so that's everything in. It should balance. Not sure if it does or not because, again, the investments might screw us over here. But anyway, we'll correct it as is. So, opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock is 110,560. Click them away to get your gross profit 202,280. Add on the 900. 203,180. And then take away all your expenses. So hopefully expenses 92,720. So take them out 110,460, and that's our net profit. There's no capital introduced. I'll just put in my 110,460. And we're there. Okay, so Within my balance sheet, they're 390 and 36 120. There's no investments, and that's why I said I'm a little bit concerned that this isn't going to actually work out. But anyway, add up our assets, add up our liabilities, take them away. 11360. There's no capital introduced. And then our drawings. They add up to 41,780. Okay, so here it goes. Let's do that sum. And after we've done it correctly, I think it should balance that. It's looking not horrendous. 602,980. Oh, I've made a mistake somewhere along the line. I'm going with I don't know what I'm going with. It must be investments or something. Really, what I was interested in was the depreciation, the drawings of buildings, those two things. Just see if I've left that out. 4, 2, 3, 4. Cash 860, yeah, and electricity due. Yeah, I don't know where I've gone wrong. Anyway, that's what I was looking at. The other thing I was thinking about this that could be asked, um, the working that in the you'd see in question one, goods in transit. I saw this in a incomplete type B, but I can't find it to find the bloody question. But the working that says, I'll just write it out, the goods in transit had not been accounted for. Um, the goods in transit costing 20,000 had not been accounted for. The invoice has been received. So that sort of working. You see it in question ones the whole time, and we know what do we do with that. Well, we add it to stock. We add to debtors, and we add to sales, right? That's or sorry, we add to stock, creditors, and purchases. What am I saying? So, well, thinking about I can't find the question, but I've seen it in it must have been an incomplete type B, saying, well, you follow the same process. You do, but you need to do that before you do any other working. So say it's said down here, so it's quite important with these questions. You have a quick glance through and see if you see anything new in it. If it said that goods in transit costing 20,000 not being accounted for, the invoice is received. Well, you don't have to really add it to purchases because purchases aren't there. So all you do is add it to stock at the bottom. So stock at the bottom would become 24,200. Add it to creditors at the bottom, which would become 38,200. And then when you're doing your workings, it's automatically going to be added to creditor or to purchases anyway, because that will go up to 38,200. So your credit sales will go up. Okay, so I want you to have a think about that. If you see that any question, it could be in a service firm. I know it's particularly with incomplete records because you wouldn't add it to purchases. If it came up in a service firm, you would add the stock, creditors, and purchases. Okay, or if it came up in a club account, stock, creditors, and purchases. You know what you're doing. You've seen it before in obviously question ones, and you've seen it in tabular statements. Anyway, that one done. That doesn't balance it. If anyone would like to tell me, hopefully I'm back in on Monday. If anyone wants to tell me why that doesn't balance, or has a go at it, I'd really appreciate it. That's that. Uh, Incomplete A. There's another service firm somewhere. Well, I might have to show you service. The 60 mark service firm questions are very different than 100 mark service firm questions. They're generally dental practices and things like that, and doctors. And I've never done them, so I don't really know how to do them. So that's going to be my job tomorrow. So that's another thing potentially that could be asked. It would be a service firm as a 60 mark service firm traditionally as a 100 mark service firm. So anyway, you can bypass all those problems by learning ratios anyway, and that gives you the very best chance of getting H1. So please, please, please take aboard the ratios. All right, lads, I'll have that. I will hopefully see you on Monday for the double.